Hello, hello, my fellow aquarium scientists. Hopefully, everybody is doing well. Whoop, did not mean to do that. Hang on. I am going to move you back here. My Kashmiri chai. Hopefully, everybody's doing well this fine wintry day. Just give me 1 second, guys. I'm trying to do something here, which I should have done before we went live, but did not. Um, yeah. I'll finish it later on, but hopefully everybody is doing well. Just give a moment here. In the meantime, let's do some hello highs. Hello, Scotty, my new moderator, one of my new moderators. Yes, it is snowing. It's still snowing over here. My mother, and my brother spent a couple of hours in the morning clearing out the snow. Hello, Scotty with a Y. Hello, Lando. Thank you very much for coming. Zen Ginger, thank you very much for the public announcement, as well as congratulations for being another one of my new moderators. You are highly recommended. Oh, we've got Jeff Kane. Thank you very much for coming. Jeff, I believe your package is, I guess you requested your package to be at the post office, but I saw that it was delivered, but it's held at the post office, which is good. Nothing wrong with that. And Benjamin Peters, thank you very much for coming. 3G, welcome. Why are we always yelling? I try not to yell, but my voice is generally high. Thank you very much for coming. Coro is here, welcome. And I think that is it. Cool. So welcome everybody. Just thought I'd go live last minute, thinking last night, because today I neither have a class or work because of the snow. So I was like, I'm just going to be sitting home. Might as well just go on to YouTube and just do a little short live stream. I'm not gonna try and be too long on the live stream. I know I say that every time, and then it ends up being like 4 hours. But it's hopefully we're not gonna do that. We're gonna talk about a few things. Just go over any noticeable updates on the home aquaria. If any of you have any questions about anything, we're just gonna um, um, just chill. If you're in a wintry place, might as well grab a hot cup of chai or hot cocoa or coffee. Grab a blanket if you want, and we'll just talk about fish and aquariums and all that stuff. And then at some point, I also want to talk to you guys about something that I'm thinking of doing for the Clash that was kind of talked about in, I want to say, the New Year's live stream that I did. But the only way for me to do that is I might need help from you guys. But I wanna pitch the idea to you guys. I want to see what you guys think about it. And maybe figure out what can be done about it. But I think if I end up doing it, and bringing it to the Clash, I think people will like it. But I want to get your guys' thoughts on that. So let's see here. Thank you very much, Zen, for sharing the link. Jeff says I will pick it up in the morning. Okay. And you're going back to work. Cool. Thank you very much for stopping by. So Scotty is asking, or not Scotty, hold on. Come on. Chat is jumping here. Sorry. So Scotty is saying, how did plant sales go? New order sold out? No, Scotty. So the new plants that I got in, I still have almost all of those species still in. Excuse me. I think other than you, excuse me, two other people placed orders. One was Jeff. He placed an order for plants, and then there was another order not for plants but for soil. And so those are the only orders I've gotten so far. I have gotten a bunch of back in stock requests, which is good. I just if if you've placed a back in stock request, please be patient. I will do my best to get it in as soon as possible. I was planning on doing an order around this week or next week, but when I looked at my bank account, I was like, nope, that's not going to happen because I also have other things I need money for. So, but I'll get it in as soon as I can. Hello there, Paul Aquatics. Thank you very much for coming. Zen, you were Scotty's recommendation, so that's why. But you were on the list of potential people to make moderators. So, but yeah, Scotty, you're my number one supporter. You're supposed to have that have that level of performance. You should have been the first one to share the links and everything. Hey there, Fish Family. Thank you very much for coming. Got Annette, Mystery Snail Guardians. Annette, I may have another picture for you, another photograph you might like. Scotty, you can go make snow angels now. Zen has it under control. That's funny. But yeah, so I still have stuff available. So if you guys want to buy plants, go right ahead. Right now the weather is a little, knock it off. Right now sorry, talking to the cat. Right now the weather is a little not good, so I wouldn't place an order right now. I mean, if you want to, you can, but the orders won't be shipped out anytime soon. But they are starting to clear the roads and everything, so should be okay. But Scotty is asking Annette what he wants for dinner. Scotty, figure it out yourself. Why you gotta have Annette tell you? So yeah, and then gonna be doing a water change on these tanks sometime soon. But yeah. Thank you very much, Zen, for sharing the link to the plant and macroalgae section. But feel free to venture out as well and go into the dry goods section as well. I don't have plant. Not only do I have plants, I have other stuff too. But anyway, but yeah, okay. So if you guys have any questions about anything or you guys want to talk about a particular topic, feel free to put it in the chat. Preferably just tag me to it so I can kind of see, but I'll keep an eye on the chat. But okay. So in the New Year's live stream, which I believe it was during that live stream, we were kind of talking about macroalgae and saltwater planted tanks, and a few, if mainly Didi, but a few mentioned that it would be a cool idea for me to have a saltwater planted tank, basically a saltwater tank with macroalgae, like have a display at the booth at the Keystone Clash for people to take a look at and kind of talk about it and see it up close and things like that. At the time, I thought, that is a good idea, but it would be very hard for me to do, in terms of, me having to maintain that aquarium here, and I barely have any room to do so. And then bringing it to the clash and then bringing it home and everything like that. Um, Even though it's definitely content worthy in terms of me making a series of videos on setting up a saltwater macroalgae aquarium. I think you guys might enjoy that. If let me know if you guys would. But it would be very difficult for me to do so. Now, that being said, this is my proposal, and I would like to hear you guys' thoughts on it. Um, I will be more than happy to set up a not big tank, small, maybe 10 gallons max. A small saltwater planted macroalgae tank, and I'm willing to bring it to the Keystone Clash and raffling it off. It'll be on display for the majority of the event, of the weekend, and then raffle it off. Not raffling it off, or excuse me, not giving it to the main raffle of the Keystone Clash. Um, or maybe so it's two options. Either I donate it to the raffle for the Keystone Clash, or Atlantic Aquariums would raffle it off, which is basically if you purchase from Atlantic Aquariums during the Keystone Clash, you'll get a raffle ticket that you can then put to in for a chance to win that aquarium. Those are the two options. Um I haven't decided what it would be, but it depends on if I'm going with it. If I want to do it. Um the only thing is I unfortunately am not financially able to acquire everything to set it up. Now, what can be done is uh financial support or sponsorships or things like that. So if anybody would like to sponsor that scape, that aquarium, that setup, um that is the only way I can see of it happening. I can also reach out to like Algae Barn, which is my favorite place to go for macroalgae, see if they would like to donate stuff and things like that. But if people want me to do it so much that they're willing to kind of help financially to get all the stuff for it, obviously there will be something with the display to showcase who supported this build. um I would be willing to do, and obviously all funds collected would go right to the the setup. um let me see chat right now. Sorry. Um, so Zen says, I love macroalgae display. I just recently started looking into them and I'm going down the rabbit hole for sure. Yeah. Um, Professor FishTank says, I like option two, which I think I said that if you buy from me, you'll get a raffle ticket because you give us enough. Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate the head chairman of the Clash telling me to do that, but you know, I might also be donating a like a gift discount for the raffle too. So I know Scotty, you told me who to get in touch with that, so I will do that at some point. It's not going to be much, unfortunately, but I want to give something um, to support the Clash. And I say I'll donate a discount code. Almost every coupons, gift cards, things like that I've donated to like raffles and things like that have not been used yet at all. So, but I still give them out. Um Zen says, Scotty, if I make one this year, no idea what you're talking about here. Uh, hey there, Rico. Thank you very much for stopping by. He wanted to come home. He likes the snow, but on the cold one, definitely. Scotty says, Professor FishTanks, I have green stuff in my salt tank. You are more than welcome to have it. It depends on what it is. If it's a pest algae, no, thank you. I can give it to you now and you can make it better so it is ready for the clash. Scotty, are you referring to the green stuff or are you referring to your saltwater tank? Because if you're referring to your saltwater tank, please, that's very generous, but no. I want you to enjoy it. Um, oh, the plant-like matter in my tank. Yeah, like I said, it depends on what it is. I have zero tolerance for anything that's a pest. I don't want them in my tanks. I want my tanks to be nice and healthy and pristine. That's just me. Coral says pest is in the eye of the beholder. Yeah, yeah, it is. Um, but yeah, so that's my proposal is if if I can get some financial help with this setup, I am willing to make a whole series of videos on how to set things up, things like that. So you'll get to see the process of it being set up, and then I'll bring it to the clash, and you guys will get to actually see it firsthand. And after that, it will be raffled off because I don't want to bring it back with me. Um, um, but I'm willing to set it up and maintain it until the clash, um, and then you guys will be able to have. And Scotty, there, I did want to ask you a question about the vendor space. I'll text it to you later on, but because if I am bringing a display for the clash, I might need more room than what my current space will be. But hi there, Shady Grady. Thank you very much for stopping by. Um, but yeah, I'm open to what you guys think about it. If you guys have any other questions or anything, feel free to let me know. Woo! Sorry if the laptop keeps shaking around. I'm bumping everything. And my chai is getting cold. That's not good. Yeah, then I agree. Scotty, if you can show me or even post it in the fish cord, hopefully somebody will be able to identify it. If you wanna send me a picture too, I can see what it is. But yeah. Excuse me, guys. Give me one moment. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, guys. If you remember from another one of the other live streams I was in, I mentioned how I was getting a new laundry washer for the house because our old one broke, and I basically spent all day yesterday hooking it up because my dad wasn't home. He was out of state, and so I had to, me, my mom, my brother, we had to shimmy it, bring it all the way into the basement, and then I had to take the old one out and hook the new one in, and we finally got it running. And then she motions me over, and my heart sank. I was like, "No, please, what happened?" And it was nothing. Um, but anyway, uh, Coro says you should get red graciliera and pom poms. They sometimes call it. Yeah, yeah. I wanna do, if I do it, and I haven't decided yet, by the way, guys. If I do it, it's gonna be a mixture of, like, obviously the red macroalgae, which is your red gracilera, the pom poms. There's a few other species of red algae. There's also the caulerpa, um, which is a classic algae, but it spreads like crazy. Um, you've got other green algae as well. The mermaid's brush is another one which I know Didi would enjoy. um, yeah, Cora, you're right. It is a brackish tolerant macroalgae. Because I know this because I where I go for school, our marine field station is right on the estuary, so it's a brackish estuary. And so, but we do go out for field work, for labs and things like that, and we get a lot of that algae here. Um, yeah, it's definitely brackish tolerant. Zen says brackish tolerant. That's what they told me about Java fern, and I tried it so many times and failed. I think I'm not. I'm not brackish tolerant. That's interesting, Zen, because that's the first time I've heard of Java fern being brackish tolerant. I wouldn't think it would be, but um, I have heard that there are some freshwater plants that can tolerate brackish environments, but not too much brackish. Like maybe a little bit of a salinity in the water, but not too much. There's my favorite person. Hey, Didi. Coral says I don't like Caulerpa. A lot of people don't because it spreads like crazy, but I think it gives you that classic um seaweed thing. Zen likes the sea lettuce. Cool. It explodes sometimes. Yeah. Hey Matt, welcome for coming. Excuse me. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Zen says even Candy at the co-op said she made it work, but however, was not successful. Interesting. Hmm. One thing you might want to do is do like a slow acclimation for it. Because if you have something that's been in fresh water for most of its life, and you plop it in a brackish tank, that can be an issue. Whenever you're converting something that is in fresh water but can go into brackish, you want to slowly acclimate it. The same thing like if you're doing mollies. Mollies are brackish. Um, they're brackish, and they can even go into salt, but you have to do a very slow transition. Um, that could be a thing as well that you might have not been doing, is just plopping it in. I would kind of do a slow transition and acclimate it to a brackish environment. DDU and Scotty are both my favorite people. I don't pick favorites. Anybody who's been supportive and a good friend and kind to me and all that, they're all my favorites. Uh, Cora says, yes, and I'm not messing around with any freshy plants in the brackish. Though red root floaters and duckweed last longer than I would expect. I'm running almost full salt though. 1.018 specific gravity. Okay. Yeah, that's getting towards full salt for sure. Everyone successful seems to have it in faster flowing water too, and I do wonder if the slow flow in my mud skippers was a problem. I just gave up and went with red mangroves. Okay. Yes, yes, Koros. Ideal salinity, if we're talking about specific gravity and not parts per thousand, it's 1.022 to 1.026, usually about 0.025, 0.024. I know the coral farm that I set up at our field station is around 0.024. Um, but yeah. Yeah, if I do end up doing the macroalgae tank, it's gonna be a full saltwater tank. It's gonna be full salinity. Zen, you should know duckweed never dies. If you have it in your tank, I have been very lucky with duckweed. Like there are times I'll get like if I get a plant, not from Tropica, but like um from the other wholesaler because I get the Anubias attached to driftwood, and that's obviously they don't keep it immersed, they keep it submerged, and apparently I guess they have duckweed in that tank, and so sometimes I'll when I get that in and I plop it in my tanks, the duckweed that was attached to the wood will just float up, and I'll start seeing floating around on the surface, and I immediately grab my net and I pick every single tiny piece. And thankfully, I have not had none of my tanks have any duckweed in them, and I want to keep it that way. Um, Salvinia cucullata, redroot floaters, Amazon frog bits, dwarf lettuce. Those are perfectly fine. Those are the only floaters I want to see in my tanks. None of the other stuff. Welcome, Robert. Thank you very much for stopping by. Mine was only 1.007 to 1.014. Yeah, then because you're doing brackish, it's not fully salt. Because I think you said you have mud skippers, so they're brackish fish. So obviously you're not going to be full salt. Didi says somebody gave me Wolfia, almost like getting cooties. Okay, you had mud skippers. I got you. Sorry, thought you currently had them. Carl says, I saw a paper about common fish and running them at lower salinity, specifically at 1.014 specific gravity, and how you could have 33% annually. You can save 33% annually on salt as a fish store. Um, Cora, when you say common fish, are you referring to saltwater fish? Because believe it or not, uh, a lot of retailers that carry saltwater stuff, it depends on what you're keeping in the system, but some of them are able to get away with lower salinity, still in the full salinity range, that range that we talked about, but the lower end of it. Um, they'll use less, they'll save some salt because of the salinity is lower. And not only that, public aquariums that have to prepare their own salt water, which means they have to mix their own salt water, a lot of the salinity is also lower than what it would normally be because they're obviously trying to save on salt, but they keep it within the comfortable range that the animals are able to withstand. Okay, so Cora was referring to saltwater. Yeah, it just depends on the species. I would not practice it. If you're getting saltwater, stick with the full salt. You know, the full salinity in terms of the range. Um, yeah, Cora says some fish are too sensitive, of course, but the majority in the hobby are fine. Corals and inverts and macroalgae are different, though. Yeah. I personally, just to be on the safe side, if I'm doing a full saltwater system, I'm gonna make sure that the parameters are where they should be. That is well known in the hobby. But it depends on what you're keeping. If it's something that can tolerate lower level salinity, go ahead. But um, yeah, Cora says, yeah, for keeping them long term, it's different than as a retailer too. Yeah, I totally agree with that. But yeah, speaking of snow, since we're in a snow theme here, who else has had snow? Because I'm not too familiar with where everybody is. Some people probably don't have snow at all right now, but I'm I'm actually keeping an eye on the weather right now, trying to see um, if it's still snowing or not. And it is still snowing. Okay. Let's see how we get to work tomorrow. Cora says we still have freezing rain. We had freezing rain earlier this week, but now we have like full on snow, like soft snow. Scotty says it's finally slowing down over in Delaware. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if it's slowing down here too or not, but I just looked at the the weather thing on my phone, and it's still showing that it's still snowing. So we tried clearing our driveways and everything as much as possible. I even brought my car up onto the driveway, so it's right behind my mother's car, so that way the town is clearing up all the roads. So hopefully they'll clear the remainder. Um, but we tried cleaning it, shoveling it as much as possible, and then we put salt on top, and we were seeing it starting to melt away and everything, and clearing the road or the driveway. So we'll see how it goes. Scotty says definitely got over 4 inches. Yeah, same here. But yeah, so in terms of the macroalgae setup, in case people were came after I talked about it, um, long story short, I'm thinking of setting up a small macroalgae, fully saltwater macroalgae setup. That if I am going to do it, I will need financial support for it. So if anybody wants to sponsor it, and then I will set it up. I will make videos about it and all that, and um, then I'll bring it to the clash so you guys will get to see it, more closely, get to talk about it, things like that. Have some eye candy, and then um, probably what I'll do is it'll be raffled off, and basically if you buy something from Atlantic Aquariums, you'll get a raffle ticket to then to be able to enter to get it to potentially win that tank. Um, but like I said, I can't do it unless I get financial support for it because I don't have the funds right now to set it up. So that's why I kind of wanted to talk about in this live stream is get your guys' thoughts on it. If anybody is interested in making that happen, you don't have to mention it here. You can contact me later on. But yeah. So Shady is saying we have snow on the ground from Sunday. From Sunday storm, and we are getting some snow now. I live in Boston area, Massachusetts. Yeah, and I'm in South Jersey, southern New Jersey. So, Robert says have the Clash sponsor it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Scotty would want to do that. It'd be cool if the Clash wanted to sponsor, but I doubt it, and that's okay. You could sell raffle tickets as well, maybe. Yeah, maybe. But the thing is I want them to buy your raffle tickets. I want them to buy the raffle tickets for the Clash. And in a way, you are, um, you know, I kind of like the idea of like if you want to enter for the raffle, um, you're gonna have to buy something. But that could be another thing is selling raffle tickets separately. But yeah, Scotty, I know, but like I want to support the Clash. I want to support the Clash. You know me, the Clash has done a lot for me. So and you guys allow me to judge the aquascaping competition, which is cool. So I want to give back. But it's not a bad idea, Scotty. It could be something I'll end up doing. Is like if you don't want to buy anything from me and you just want to buy raffle tickets, you can do that. But all this depends on me actually doing the setup. I got to figure out if to do the setup first, then figure out how to raffle it off. But okay, so that's good questions, and I guess we can talk about that stuff too. First question is from Koro. How would you manage flow in a macroalgae tank? So, like I said, my plan, if I do it, is going to be no more than 10 gallons. For something like that, I don't need to add any extra flow, so like a wave maker or anything like that. If you want, you can, but it doesn't. I don't really see it. A lot of the flow would just come from the filtration. Um, which is another thing I would need to look into is what type of filtration do I want to use? Do I want to use a small canister like the Oase canisters, the smaller version? Or do I want to do a hang-on back filter? And if I do a hang-on back filter, it'll either be the Oase a BioStyle or the Fluvel Aqua Clear. And it'll be either those two. And it should give me enough flow because both of those hang on bags do have a lot of flow in them. And then with the Waze, there's that benefit of there's a built-in heater. So here's another thing with the Oase BioStyle hang-on backs. I only carry the non-thermo ones. The reason I'm not carrying the thermo ones is because the heaters there are preset and the temperature that it's preset to is pretty high. It's about 79 something like that. I think is the highest it goes to. If there was an ability to adjust the thermo the heater like you could do with the bigger canister filters, the Oase Biomaster thermos, I would be more inclined. I would love the thermo bio styles, but I just don't feel too easy. Even if it was even if it was still a preset, if they would lower the preset temperature, I would be more comfortable. But I mean, with the bio style, with that 79-degree, it would do well for like fish that need hotter water temperatures, like your German blue rams, your ram cichlids, your discus, things like that. But anyway, I would mostly use the hang-on backs or the small Oase canister. With the small Oase canister, I can add a heater to that. I can get the thermo version, so that means less equipment in the actual tank, more of actually seeing the scape and the plants or the macroalgae and the little critters in there. Um, Scotty says, "What stuff do you need for it?" So what I would need is an aquarium, the tank itself. It could be either a rimmed tank like your Aqueon, or it could be rimless. Um, it could be an all-in-one. Um, so it has a built-in filtration compartment. Light for it. I would need a light for it. I would need the substrate, which would just be sand, preferably live sand because it has all the beneficial bacteria already in it. Rock for scaping, the macroalgae, and livestock and filter. And I think that's it. And salt water. I'm not going to be making my own salt water for it. What I'm going to do is actually buy pre-mixed salt. It'll either be Ocean Nutrition, or excuse me, um, what is that brand? What is that company called? Usually, if you go to your local fish store and they have saltwater stuff, they usually have like those big gallons of pre-made salt water. Or I would just go to my fish store and just get their gallon, their whatever 2 or 3 or whatever per gallon salt water that they mix themselves, and use that. I won't be mixing my own salt water because there's really no point in it. I would have to get a RODI unit, and I'm not getting an RODI unit right now. Um, but I think that's all I really would need for it. The light doesn't need to be too expensive or too fancy because I don't plan on putting any photosynthetic like corals or anything like that in there. It's just going to be mainly macroalgae. So a regular freshwater planted light could be fine. It would either be the gooseneck one or a strip light. It just depends on the style of tank I decide to use. But yeah. If I go with an all-in-one aquarium, then I don't even need to spend on a filter because it has the filter compartment already in it. I mean, there's also the Fluval C, which is a pretty good beginner-friendly aquarium, saltwater aquarium. If you like the Fluval Spec series and things like that. And then in terms of the actual layout, I can either, depending on the type of tank I get, I could scape it as a peninsula or a traditional tank. Um, what size tank? No more than 10 gallons. I preferably just 10 gallons. I don't want to go any smaller than that because it can be very hard to manage. With saltwater, especially the larger the aquarium, the better it is to manage water chemistry. So I would not go any lower than 10 gallons. Even a 20 gallon is usually considered a nano tank in the saltwater world. Yes, coral, because they are cleanup crew. So definitely hermits, snails, things like that. Critters, cleanup crew that will keep the sand sifted and things like that. In terms of fish, maybe a goby or something like that in there. Um, but I want to keep that to whoever ends up getting the tank to then be able to add whatever they want. And that's something that can be discussed at the event too. Somebody could be like, what would you keep in there usually, generally? And I would go with the nano species of gobia, um, things like that. Maybe have a cleaner shrimp in there as well. But the thing with the skunk cleaner shrimps is they are good with cleaning off parasites, not algae. There's other invertebrates that are good with that. So Scotty says, oh, sorry. We have sponsors for the speakers because we cover all expenses to bring them to the Clash and pay them to be there. The Clash is a fundraiser for the two clubs. Yes. You going to the Clash, buying the registrations, if you're a vendor going to buying the vendor space and everything like that, you are not only supporting the event itself for the event to continue coming every year, but you're also you're also supporting the two clubs that organize it. Coro says, "Don't skimp on your light. That's probably going to be the most expensive single item." Yes and no. any planted light will do fine. The biggest problem um with macroalgae systems is nutrients for the algae. Um, Lighting is still important. I definitely agree with you. And if I have to, I'll probably get the Fluval light. It's definitely not going to be a cheap light, um, but I don't need to get the reef or saltwater specific lights. I think I should be okay with the regular freshwater planted lights because macroalgae, although algae is a plant, and because I'm not doing any other photosynthetic corals or anything like that, it's just an algae, macroalgae aquascape. Should be okay with a regular planted light for it. Yeah. So while we would love to help Usama with this, we can't financially, but we will do everything we can to support him in this. Totally understand, Scotty. Wasn't really going to ask the Clash to do it anyway. This is more of the community. If you guys want me to set that up and bring it to the Clash, and you want to sponsor it, I'm more than happy to do that. If nobody is really wanting to sponsor it, I totally get it. It's just not going to happen then. So Didi was asking about the size of tank I would need. I've already mentioned it. I'm a little behind on chat. I do apologize. But something like the Fluval 15 Flex. Yeah, so like Fluval had like, if I want to go with an all-in-one system, so that way I don't have to separately get the filter, separately get the light and all that. The Fluval Evo, the Fluval C series of the spec or the Flex. Um, is a great, I think would be a great tank. It comes with a light that is more geared towards saltwater, but with the Fluval C, I can also in the filtration compartment also add the protein skimmer, which I always recommend having a protein skimmer with your saltwater systems. Um, but it's not needed for this setup. It's not really that needed. Um, That is true, Coral. I can definitely keep a clownfish in there, um, but I'm not really gonna do go all out with the livestock in terms of fish. I'll probably keep maybe a goby or two in there, something that's swimming around, and then whoever ends up getting the tank, um, as long as it's an appropriate species, they can add whatever they would like into it. So Scotty says you don't need to buy pre-mixed water. You can get RDI for about 25 cents or free, and it wouldn't take much salt. I probably have some. That's another option. Because I wonder if my local fish store has RODI water. They probably do. Um, but again, I would have to buy salt for that, and I'm only the aquarium. I'm only going to be maintaining that aquarium until the Clash. After that, it's going to whoever else. So, and that's another thing I need to that I will have to let the person who ends up getting the tank know is that what type of salt water have I been using? Because with saltwater systems, if you're changing the salt that you use in your mix, that can have drastic effects to your system. So let's say if you're using the Red Sea Pro Salt and you switch it to Fritz, um, you have to slowly integrate your system to then take the Fritz salt water. And they do have these salt companies do have instructions on how to do that because each salt mix carries different levels of different minerals, believe it or not. So it can have drastic effects to your overall system's health. So you want to be very careful if you're switching the salt and things like that. And if you're getting pre-made salt, you want to ask your local fish store what salt do you use in your salt water that you're pre-mixing. Petco has 10-gallon packages with the Aqua Clear 30 lid and the light for 99 bucks. Sand, rock, and the water is going to be less than 75. Sounds very reasonable. Yeah, it is reasonable, but I don't have the funds for it. That's the thing. People need to sponsor it. If this project has to be sponsored. If it's not going to be sponsored, I can't do it. And most of the stuff, most of the supplies that I'm going to get I'm going to get from my distributors and things like that. So like one of my distributors who has tanks available mainly has either the all-in-one systems, they do have the Fluval as well, or the rimless tanks. They have a wide selection of lights, they have a wide selection of filtration systems. They do have the Carib Sea rock as well, which is actually very expensive. But some of the stuff I'll get from my distributors. Some of the stuff I might have to get from my local fish store. But yeah. Yep, Keystone Clash 2024. Check it out, guys. If you weren't there this past year, you want to be here this year. Support the largest hobbyist-run aquarium show. And it's for both freshwater and saltwater. So if you're a saltwater person, definitely come to the Keystone Clash too. Because as of right now, I'm the only saltwater person there in terms of vendors, and then there is a saltwater speaker. Chihira's and a CO2 setup on the salted tank. You heard it. Chihira's. Yeah, Fluval Fax 15 is 150 now at PetSmart. They have come down since I got mine. Well, I get them wholesale, so it'll be cheaper for me. So Coro says the water refill stations at the grocery store are RO, but not DI. Yeah, I use RO DI water. For saltwater, you want RO DI. So, but yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, Coro. Grocery stores, Walmart has it. But yeah. I wish I liked their AIO setup. All-in-one setups. For who's all-in-one setup? Fluvos? Because I like Fluvos all-in-one. I currently have the Fluvo beta, and it's doing very well. So I do like this. I do like Didi's idea. So you could make a wish list of the specific items you need for this and allow people to sponsor parts or money. I do like that, but I'm only going to do it if there are people who want to do it. If I can't fully cover everything, um, then what the stuff that the money that people have donated is just gonna I'm gonna end up refunding back to them. Which is why if you're interested in a particular part of the thing, if you're interested in sponsoring that, you can reach out to me privately. You can email me or and things like that, and we can discuss further. But yeah, it has to be solid. The backing for this project has to be solid. You know, I don't want people to think I'm just taking money and not gonna do it and things like that. I want to make sure that I have the capability to do it before I ask. I ask for any money. Yeah, Matt's correct. The reason grocery stores are only RO water is because drinking RODI will cause harm to your body over time because it's mineralless. Yes, I agree. That's definitely true. Uh, and it's only 12 cents a gallon for me. Matt says, right, if you want money to go nowhere, send it to me. And then Koro says, I also only have two real tanks right now, DD 12 long. Okay. But yeah. So yeah, well, it's 56 minutes. Okay, cool. I would come up with what you want, a solid parts materials list, solid plan, research to find the cheapest way possible for what you want, then communicate that. Yeah. Yeah, some of the stuff is definitely cheaper, and it is going to be cheaper for me, especially if I get it from my like wholesale distributor and things like that. But salt waters, it can be cheap, but if you know me well enough, I don't like going the cheap route. I want to make sure that everything that I'm getting from my systems for my animals is reliable, it works, and it has all the capabilities I'm looking for to make it as easy as possible for me. Because I also like to make sure my all of my systems are pretty. So, but yeah, no, definitely, I'll do more. I'll look into it more, figure out because there's so many options, so I just have to figure out a particular option to go with, and then I'll probably post it on the community tab, just the list, um, and then and then we'll go from there. But I want to do it. I want to start on it as soon as possible because just to cycle a saltwater system, brand new saltwater system takes time, and then getting all the supplies and having it mature enough to where it looks beautiful will take time. And obviously, we have the ugly stage that is going to be a pain in the butt to deal with, but so it's going to take time to get it for me to get it presentable for the clash. And I'm very picky with how I like my tanks to look. Yeah, there's definitely Coral. There's definitely some people that I will companies that I'll reach out um to see if they're interested in it. Algae Barn, I'm definitely probably will reach out and see if they're willing to donate macroalgae for it. But and in terms of fish, I can reach out to some fish breeders or fish wholesalers, see if they're willing to donate some fish for it, or not just fish, but you know the cleanup crew and things like that. So Didi says, well, in the worst case scenario, there could be a clause included that states in the event that the sponsorship doesn't come to fruition, then monetary value could be refunded or exchanged up. Yeah, it'll just be refunded. Whatever money you gave me back, and I obviously will have a record of how much everybody has donated because obviously I want to create something to place with the tank so everybody knows who supported this project. Um, I'll keep track of everything and then it'll all be refunded back. Yeah, that's the big question. How am I gonna transport it? It's gonna be a pain in the tuchus to do that. It'll most likely just be draining it as much as I can and keeping that water. So I'll have it in buckets or whatever. I'll probably cover it and obviously remove the fish if there are fish in there and drain it as far down as I can and just bring it in my car. Probably I'll bring that tank with the other tanks I'll bring for like the plants and all that. Um, Atlantic Aquarium purchases. Okay, yeah, That's something that could be utilized. That's not a bad idea. Can you write this off on your taxes? I'm the wrong person to ask about that because even I struggle with the current taxes I have to deal with this business. I think you can write it off if it's a donation to a nonprofit, but I'm not nonprofit. So because keep in mind this although Professor Fish Tanks is going to be setting this up and promoting the project or showcasing the project on the website, it's going to be on Atlantic Aquarium's booth. And the raffle price and all the money that will come from that display is for Atlantic Aquariums. So I don't know because Atlantic Aquariums is obviously not nonprofit. I'm not the right person to ask for that about that. I don't know. That still requires cash to pay for the first, but like maybe that could help. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not too sure if it would be if it is like you can write it off on the on your taxes if you donate to it because I think that only works if you're donating to a nonprofit. I could be wrong, but I'm just not the right person to ask for that about that. Uh, so Matt says, on a serious note, some I would be interested in helping, but also you gotta get the numbers figured out. Yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then on the community tab, like I said, I will post it, and then and then we will go from there. And I'll even post the amount. That's next. How about that? I'll post the amount because I want to be as transparent as possible with it. Um, and but I won't accept anything until people like the list. And then once everything is set and there are people that want to donate and or show interest in it, then after that I will figure out a way to collect the funds and we'll go from there. um, Dee Dee agrees with Scotty about something. So Scotty says, I wouldn't do fish, just plants. Plants are your specialty. Keep it simple and cheap. I'm not just a plant person, I'm also a fish person. I just have the ability to sell plants right now. And also in order I want to create a viable ecosystem for the macroalgae because they are very sensitive to nutrition deficiencies. So I want to make sure they're getting enough there's enough organics in the water produced by nutrients produced by the fish for the algae to take it in. And then I also have to do a little bit of research. I'm gonna reach out to Algae Barn actually and be like, what in terms of fertilization, what do you recommend? Because I'm pretty sure that I will need to do some of that there as well. I'm gonna do my best to keep it as cheap as possible. That's why I'm not going all big. I'm keeping it small, so I don't need that much water. I don't need that much sand. I don't need that much rock or livestock for that matter. So it's not going to be too expensive. I just have to figure out a way. I think probably the cheapest route for me is to go for an all-in-one system because it comes with it depends. If I do Fluval, it'll come with the light, but if I just do a regular all-in-one like from JBJ or what's the other company? Can't think of it right now. Um those tanks come with a pump, the filtration stuff, all that, and the tank just doesn't come with the light or heater or anything like that. So I just have to look into it and see what the most possible thing is. Um, shoot, I lost my place. Uh, So Coral says eShops has their nano skimmer that looks slick, and also I like that air driven on the BRS, the glass one with the rubber thingy. Yeah, Coral, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, it's for nano systems, and it's a air driven protein skimmer. The only problem with that thing is it really doesn't have a collection cup or a good collection cup, so you kind of have to like attach a small like airline or something for it to drain to like a larger bucket. There is at least there's one skimmer that I saw, but I think yeah, the eShops is a really good skimmer or nano. It has a really good nano skimmer. Aquatic Life also has a good nano skimmer as well. It's internal. Um, and then obviously Fluval has their nano skimmer, which is mainly designed for their Fluval C series. But yeah. Matt saying, Jenna, are you here? um, Dee Dee says, how far am I from the Clash site? About an hour. It's about an hour drive. I'm gonna keep that up, otherwise I'm gonna lose my thingy. So Matt says, also sorry, Sama. I know you prefer to keep stuff to topics, so always feel free to skip my jokes. And if you have a problem, you can always contact me. It's all good, Matt. Nothing wrong with a little bit of humor. Dee Dee says, for once I agree with Scotty, other than the cleanup shrimp. Okay. But your joke is on point. I know Didi, and I do know I've made him giggle more than once. He just wants a professional stream, and I do respect that. I just can't help myself sometimes. It's all good. So Zen says, until you find out how much you realistically need to be able to write off to make the standard deduction the worst option. I'm sorry, Zen. I don't really know what you're referring to. If you can just clarify on that, I would appreciate that. Osama said took us, so Matt is willing to help now. So apparently Matt has a saltwater tank, asks Dee. And Matt does have a saltwater tank. Oh, cool. Did not know that. Um, Scotty says, I know you do more, but plants are your specialty. You are known for your plant knowledge. Yeah, but I want people to be comfortable with asking me about fish and stuff. So, not just plants. I like my fish too. Um, Speaking of Clash, welcome Clashy. Thank you very much for coming. Clashy, I know you're working hard, but I'm trying to help you out, but we got to get more saltwater people. I want to see more saltwater. We've got time. And I know you're trying very hard. And I'm doing my best too, but let's get some more saltwater people. Uh, I want to build a spreadsheet going through the nutrients and minerals in different fish foods and how they fertilize your tanks in different quantities. Oh, true, true. Because any food that is not eaten decomposes, it releases nutrients into the water. Um, well, technically in the form of ammonia, which goes to nitrates. The nitrates then get sucked in by your flora, but everybody knows that. Um, Hey there, KG Aquatics. Thank you very much for coming. Okay, I see. So Zen says, I was just being silly because from the consumer side, writing off donations isn't really a good option unless you donate a ton. Cool. It's interesting because I have donated to to nonprofits and things like that. But I've never really bothered writing them off. But then again, I don't really donate a lot because I'm not that rich. But um it just never I knew that you can write off donations, and they even send you a message. I was like, "Oh, thank you for your donation. Just letting you know this can be written off on your taxes and things like that." And I just don't bother with it. Um, but yeah, that's right, Coro. I'm not Professor Plants. I'm Professor Fish Tanks. Uh, by the way, just a side note, I was last night. I think it was last night. I was just browsing because I was bored and nobody was really live streaming, and then one of Dan's fish videos came up where he was doing like an unboxing of like a shipment he was getting in. So I was like, let me check this out. And I opened it up. I mean, I've been on Dan's Fish website and all that and really love the selection there. Um I was even able to kind of see where he got those fish from. So in the future when I do start carrying fish, um, to be fair, like I was already familiar with those distributors anyway, but that's besides the point. Um, I just love unboxing videos, so because I would always watch Corey from Aquarium Co-op when he would do the fish unboxing, and obviously Dan's fish he was doing one, and really liked the selection. And but there was one thing that he mentioned, and this is just something that just means to me personally. It doesn't. It's not a big deal for a lot of people, but like he was mentioning where like the fish came from, like in terms of like whether what farm they came from or country or things like that. Apparently he was able to know that. And and I ended up asking the question. I was like, do you in the on the website with the fish, do you mention what country the fish came from or locations or things like that it came from? Um, because that's something for me that's very important because I I'd love to know where these fish come from, just as in terms of a scientific standpoint. But there is a personal reason for it, and I'm not really going to get into it. Um, but I'm hoping that I'll get an answer for that at some point. Um, just out of curiosity. If they don't, then that's not an issue. But like, I was just curious about it. Um, but yeah, just a side note. I haven't bought anything from Dan's Fish yet, but I am interested because he has got a bunch of cool stuff on the website. No doubt about that. Uh, oop, chat is jumping. Apparently, people are fighting over Didi now. Thank you, Scotty, for posting the link. Appreciate that. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, like coral, like because I was able to like kind of figure out where those fish, most of those fish were coming from, and I was already familiar with that distributor. It's just nice to actually see the product coming, if that makes sense. So actually seeing how that distributor packages the fish, um, the fact that they're not packaged too tightly, there's room for them to swim, um, and the quality of the fish, the health of the fish that I was able to see. There were a few DOAs in there, but that's just it happens. Um, but that to me was a bit reassuring that in the future when I am capable of getting fish in, that that distributor is one distributor I would like to reach out to and work with. Chat needs to, and when I say chat is jumping, I mean right here. Like this needs to stop jumping around because I trying to figure out where I went. Uh, Carl says, "Sorry, I keep going between stations at work." That's okay. Work is important. Just don't hurt yourself distracting, depending on what you're doing. Behave, y'all. Behave. No fighting over anybody. Oh, hey there, my fish tank aquatic. Sorry if I missed you when you came in. Okay, I think I caught up on chat. Um, hey there, Chevy Fish. Thank you very much for coming. Sorry if I missed when you came in. But yeah. So unless anybody else has any questions, comments, anything like that, I'm hopefully after the live stream is over, I will start working on that list of items. It's just a matter of me just looking at the costs and just finalizing on that item, and I will post it on the community tab. So keep an eye on. Um, I've been lurking since beginning. Oh, okay, that's totally fine. Thank you very much for sticking by. Um, Something looks different to the right of you. Me? This way? This way? I mean, my right is over here. I don't know. Scotty, what are you talking about? Um, oh, this? That's always been there. That's always been there. It's just the place I probably wasn't in frame. It could be. Um, what is in here? I don't even know what's in there. Oh, there. It's stuff. Oh, careful, careful. It's stuff I got from for this. So it's like airline tubing, the Velcro stuff for when I was building that. But so Jeff is heading to the post office. Yeah, Jeff. First of all, drive safe, and then when you get the stuff home, open it up and let me know how everything is. Okay, please do that. Um, Scotty, you okay? It's in the right place. It's just framing, I guess. Zooming in, framing, whatever the case might be, how the camera's tilted, but everything's the same. Nothing's changed. Yeah, yeah, Scotty. It's just how I have the camera position. I think usually it's more towards this way. So like the camera, the box would be out of view, and you're just seeing an empty tank. But no, there's quite a lot of stuff in that tank. That's the tank currently holds the like the sleeves for the plants and the Tropica um the like the Tropica bags to put plants in. Um Chevy Fish says, I've been lurking in chat all morning and I've gotten nothing done except feeding my face. Yeah. Not me. I missed Rico's stream um because I was out shoveling snow, but Rico's streams are fun, but usually when it gets a little too fun, I will excuse myself from it. But but no, I was planning on going on to Rico's stream, but I was busy shoveling snow because I know I have to go to work tomorrow and I need to make sure the driveway is safe for me to walk on. Jeff ordered from me and Keith on the same day. Cool. I really appreciate it, Jeff, because I know you were a little hesitant from ordering that time, but I do appreciate it. And so yeah, but like I said, let me know how everything came in, okay? And if there's an issue, just reach out to me and we'll figure it out. So my fish tanks aquatics is asking, where are you located at, if you don't mind me asking? I'm assuming you're asking me. So I'm located in southern New Jersey, in the Burlington County area. So but yeah, and Atlantic Aquariums does not have a warehouse or a retail store. It's all done out of my house. So if you do local pickup with me, you're gonna come to my house, which is why at some point I'm probably gonna stop doing the local pickup thing. But yeah, I will be at the Clash, and I'm most likely gonna be at the Fishapalooza event that's being held at Stockton University in March. So you guys are welcome to come there as well and support that organization's annual event. It's free admission, believe it or not, which for me personally I don't like. Um they should either have a cost for the vendors or have some form of admission fee to, to support the club. And I'm sure there are people who will be more than happy to buy a space or buy a ticket to go there to, if it means supporting the club. But they decided to solely focus to solely basically to be more, they're more what's the word I'm looking for, man, more reliant on the funds they get from the school. So they usually get their funds to do the event from the school, so that way they can have everything free basically. Um, I did voice my opinion one time and was like, you should, at least if you want to keep admissions free, at least have the vendors pay, but it's all free. So if you want to vend at the event, you can just reach out to them. You'll get a free table or a free space. If you want to just come as a guest, you can just come right in, buy what you want, participate in the raffles that they have, things like that. I don't know if they're inviting any speakers or anything, but But yeah, no auctions at that event because it is a university, and so we're not too sure if the university would like an auction for live animals being done there. Ba, 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 ba. So much. I'm Northern Illinois. I just like to get to know people. Cool. Cool. Okay. So we are over the 1 hour mark, and I want to keep the live stream short. Um, so yeah. So if anybody else has any other things they would like to, my club meets at the State Vet College. We have auctions there monthly. Yeah, but that's a vet college or a veterinarian college. I'm assuming that's what you're referring to as vet. But I don't know. I'm no longer part of the executive committee for that club, so I have no idea what's going on. I've been taking a break from school for a year. So I don't know what's been going on with that club, but it's still active, and I'm great for them. So it would be nice if they did an auction there, but no auction. No auction or no speakers from what I understand. Just vendors and raffles. And that chai is cold, but Dee Dee says keeping stuff in water is a science. Yep, it's a science. Bucks County. Cool, cool, cool. KG's asking you near Philly? Yeah, I'm about half hour, 45 minutes away from Philly. I'm right across the river, the Delaware River from Bristol, PA. So yeah, I'm pretty close to Philly. Well, Bucks is your club? No, my clubs are the Stockton Aquarium and Aquaculture Club. That's my baby. That's the club I started. And then the Jersey Shore Aquarium Society and um never don't really go to the North Jersey Aquarium Society because it's North Jersey and I'm in South Jersey. The Jersey Shore Aquarium Society is the closest to me. But yeah, I don't really go to any of the club meetings in Pennsylvania. They are far from me. They are a bit far from me. I don't like driving long distances for a couple of hours. Um, it's annoying. The only exception is the Keystone Clash. but um, but yeah, my computer is about to die. Give me 1 second. But I do sponsor the Bucks Bucks County Aquarium Club or Aquarium Society. If you're a paying member there, you do have a discount code that you can use on the site. Keith says, if you do not travel, you cannot grow, is what I say. Yeah, you're definitely right. And I do travel as much as I can. But I also have to look at my finances if it is worth it. Okay. So if anybody else has any questions or anything like that, I think that we will call it a day. Like I said, I will get working on that list, and I'll have it posted on the community tab. If you guys want to reach, if any of you who are interested in that project wants to reach out to me privately, some of you do have a way to contact me privately. You're more than welcome to do so. Um, um, but yeah, as always, guys, thank you very much for stopping by, saying hi. Thank you for supporting Professor FishTanks. Thank you for supporting Atlantic Aquariums. I do appreciate it. Um, I hope you guys continue to do so. If not, it's okay. If you're watching the replay because you missed the live stream, I do apologize. But thank you for watching the replay. Make sure you hit that like button. And hit the notify bell so that way you guys are you'll get the notification of when I post a video or when I'm going live or things like that. With that being said, everybody, stay warm, stay safe out there, and keep taking care of your fish. They love you as much as you love them. And with that being said, take care. Have a wonderful time.